Hey girls and gays, welcome back to my channel. Today I think I'm giving you Sade. Didn't she have the denim and the hoops and the lips? Today I want to talk about beauty and how to become more beautiful. Even just saying that, I'm dying. So I've had a really interesting relationship with beauty all my life. Since I was a young person, I was branded as like the funny friend. And so I was always the funny friend, the funny person, really desexualized, didn't get any male attention until about university. And I was in really white spaces that didn't affirm my beauty. And so I've decided at this big age that I am beautiful. And the reason I am is because I've decided I am. And I now curate a world that just affirms that for me. And so I just want to talk about how you can do that for yourself, because regardless of how you look, what race, gender, how you present physically, you are probably going to be plagued to some extent by your appearance and how that's consumed, how you consume it, and how the world does. So the first thing I would suggest, and it's a thing I live by, is curate your social media. You want to see faces, people, bodies that somehow are on the spectrum of yours. If you're brown, you want people of kind of a similar brown range. If you are short and thin, if you're big and curvy, you want people who kind of reflect that and embrace that and dress it up. You want people who enhance what you look like. I wouldn't follow anyone who would contour their nose to make it smaller, because this is my nose. I want people who highlight the nostrils, who really push to the forefront and exaggerate and honor the features that they have, and not trying to kind of erase their fatness, their bigness, their curviness, erase their blackness or brownness or ethnicity through how they dress. I want people who embrace it and enhance it. Essentially what you're doing is, we have media constantly bombarding us with what looks good. You are creating your own media feed, your own media cycle, by really managing who you follow, so that if you want to be more comfortable about your big nostrils or your nose, you're not following people who are contouring their nose to make it smaller, which there's no problem with that necessarily, but you're following people who will highlight their nose so that their big nose looks beautiful and like is glistening, and you can see that highlight from outer space. So you create your own media cycle. You essentially feed your subconscious with images, but this time they work in your favor. This time they're not planting insecurities that peddle products. Which brings me to my next point. Who is profiting off your insecurity? If you don't like the bridge of your nose, someone's making money off that. It's not free to go and get that consultation and to get your nose done. So someone's profiting. So that is actually messaging. Whenever you don't like something about yourself, somebody's making money. And so you've got to ask yourself, who's going to make money if I don't like myself? And there's no problem with getting plastic surgery. I'm a big fan of plastic surgery. There's no problem with enhancing, contouring, making something smaller, bigger, elongating it, shortening it. That's totally fine if that serves you. But if it doesn't serve you, then you need to start to kind of adopt these things we're discussing in order to make your world reflect you, and in order to start programming your brain with messaging that says how you show up in this world is perfect. Then you need to seek spaces that affirm you. So if you've got a friend group, let's say you live in a country, you're black in a Scandinavian country, you might have a lot of white friends. You might need to start seeking out black and brown friends who kind of resemble some kind of similar physicality as you, so that you don't constantly feel like you're not worthy, like you're outside of a norm, because you're totally normal. You is your normal, so you need to find people who reflect you. Then you need to interrogate where your insecurities really come from. Why don't you like your nose? It's the nose you've been given. What is it about the bridge of your nose? Can you breathe properly? Does it function? Yes. So what's the issue? Why would you want a straight, short nose? What did you see as a kid? What were you told as a kid? Who laughed at you? Who made fun of you? Was there some kind of abuse? You've got to interrogate, because once you realize, oh, it was because I used to watch this program all the time, so it's just programming, it's just messaging, it's just words that messed me up as a kid, I can now go to therapy or do some kind of reflection and self-work and get rid of that messaging, and then reprogram it through social media, through the people that I hang out with. So that's really important as well, to find the root and like kind of cut that plant from the root so it doesn't grow any more offshoots and like continue to poison your thinking. Because our inner childs, stay the same until we heal them. And your inner child was probably deeply affected by the images you saw or by the groups you were around who might not have looked like you, who might have teased you. And finally, I would be really, really careful with your energy, with the kinds of things you say to yourself personally, internally, and out loud. You will always attract people who benefit off the energy you're giving. Definitely in your friend circle right now, there is somebody who's insecure, who benefits off you being insecure too, because you can kind of wallow together. Be conscious of which friends affirm you versus which friends encourage your insecurities, which friends actually prompt you and say, oh wow, are you going out with that lipstick? It's quite bold. Or friends who say, wow, you're really wearing that? You're confident to, pull that off. Things like that, backhanded compliments where they're insecure or they can't believe you have the audacity to be confident because they think in their world what you represent is not attractive, is not acceptable. Be really conscious of those friends and eventually weed them out, because they wait. The minute you can say 10 things that you love about yourself and the one thing you don't like about yourself, they'll comment, they'll laugh, they'll encourage you. They'll find ways to kind of fuel that fire. And it's not personal, it's to do with them, but you don't need that kind of energy. Be careful of the things you say about yourself, because in some ways you give permission for people who are insecure or looking for negativity. In their minds, you've kind of given them permission to could encourage you and say the same thing. If you say you think that your cheekbones are ugly, in 2 weeks they'll be saying, you're gonna put on that blush? I thought your cheekbones are like way too big. Or you'll find at a party suddenly they'll be like, yeah, because she has some big ass cheekbones, and making jokes at your expense because you initiated it. So we set the standard of how we want to be treated in friendships and in relationships, and unfortunately, if we set the precedent of I want to be respected, I want to be loved and affirmed and treated well, we have to speak kind words about ourselves. If we speak unkind words about ourselves, whoever's attracted to that unkindness and meanness and insecurity will amplify and affirm that. And we've got to weed those friends out. But you've also got a responsibility to start speaking to yourself the way you want others to speak to you too. Because people really just reflect your energy. We're all mirrors, and whatever you give out is just going to kind of bounce back at you in some shape or form. So also be accountable for the words you speak internally, but also externally. Sometimes just post a selfie and go. Sometimes not say, I was feeling shitty about myself, I don't like my nose, but here's my photo. Sometimes just post and go. Because people will match that energy, right? Don't be self-deprecating. And that is something I'm struggling with because I've been seen as a class clown for a lot of my life. People are ready for me to make jokes at my own expense, and this year I've told myself I'm not doing that anymore, not with my appearance. I am a sexual being, I am beautiful, and I'm gonna post and go, and the things I'm gonna say about myself affirm that. And if somebody isn't, they're just gonna get blocked and deleted, because I'm curating a world where I am that bitch, and it has to start with me. It has to. And that's it. So the summary of the video is you're not born into beauty as much as you decide you're going to have the beautiful experience or the ugly experience, and then you curate a world that affirms whichever one you choose. You can also opt out of any kind of paradigms of beauty and ugliness if you wish to. That's also a very viable option. I really hope this helped. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. What are your ways of curating a world that affirms your beauty? Let me know, because I'm always looking for ways to affirm mine. And let me know what you want me to talk about next. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.